from the betting capital of the world. Giving raw and real breakdowns of mixed martial arts and recapping UFC events like no one else, with producer Martin on the ones and twos and combat sports betting expert Effie. You're listening to Any Action Sportscast. Any Action Sportscast. So put your headphones on and let's take this podcast to the next level.
This isn't a podcast. It's a sportscast.
What is up, guys? We are back. It's your boy Effie with Any Action Sportscast, here to go over UFC Austin. Arman Tsarukyan versus Dariush. This main event is as high level as it gets. And so is that co-main event, man. We have Jalin Turner coming in on 9 days short notice to take on Bobby Green. This card is filled with good fights from beginning to end, man, and I'm super excited for it. We already have one bet for 1.25 units on this card. And yeah, man, we came back from a week with no UFC fights, so I'm super excited to see these guys fight. Should be a very exciting fight night card for the fans out in Austin, Texas. The video is coming out a little bit later this week, as I was a guest today on my homie Lou Betya's show. Props to consider and maybe bet. I'll leave the link in the description. Make sure you guys catch that. Super fun show. Thank you all for watching, and without any further ado, let's get right into the fights. In the very first fight, we have a women's flyweight fight between Veronica Hardy and Jamey-Lyn Horth. Hardy comes in with a 7-4-1 record, and she is currently a plus 110 underdog. Jamey-Lyn Horth comes in with a 6-0 undefeated record, and she is currently minus 130. Now, this line's on the move. Money's coming in on Jamey-Lyn Horth, pushing her around minus 165. And I get it. I am going to pick Jamey-Lyn Horth to win this fight, and I'm going to pick her to win via decision. But I'm not rushing to the window to bet minus 165 on her at all. You know, Veronica Hardy is a pretty decent fighter in her own right. She's coming off a win against Juliana Miller, where she looked good and cashed as a huge underdog. And I feel like a lot of people are overvaluing her last performance against Miller because, yeah, she won, but she was fighting a girl that, in my opinion, isn't UFC caliber and probably won't be in the UFC in a year and a half from now. This is probably going to be a 15-minute striking fight where I don't foresee either fighter trying to, initiate the grappling exchanges. Jamey-Lyn Horth definitely is not going to be shooting takedowns in the open mat. If Jamey-Lyn Horth does get this fight down, I think it's going to be due to her clinching up Hardy along the cage, along the warning track, and getting a trip from there. But I think that's highly unlikely. I think Veronica Hardy, if anything, is going to be the one trying to get the takedowns here in this fight, because Jamey-Lyn Horth is going to be bigger in this fight. She has a 3-inch height advantage in this fight. But Veronica Hardy herself has a 5-year age gap going in her direction. She is 28. Jamey-Lyn Horth is 33 years old. But I do think that this goes to the cards. I think that Jamey-Lyn Horth is a more powerful striker, whereas Veronica Hardy will probably have more volume, better footwork, and movement in the cage. Lyn Horth is a kind of a slow, plotty, moving forward, heavy-footed fighter. But I think that her shots will land on Hardy more damagingly and leave more marks on Hardy. She doesn't wear damage the best. And I know she's coming off a fight where she looked really good, but like I said, I think that was against a fighter that isn't that good at fighting. So give me Jamey-Lyn Horth to win a decision. That's my best bet for that. Next fight, we have a men's welterweight fight between Wellington Turman and Jared Gooden. Wellington Turman comes in with an 18-7 record. He is minus 195. Jared Gooden comes in with a 22-9 record. He is currently plus 165. So a 5-inch reach advantage going in the way of Gooden in this fight, which is pretty significant. I do, though, ultimately think that Turman's going to win this fight. But again, guys, at minus 195, close to minus 200, 2-1 favorite Turman, I'm not running to the window to bet that at all. If you're going to bet this fight, I would probably go Gooden over Turman here, dog or pass. But I think that Turman's going to win a decision. I think that Jared Gooden has the finishing upside in this fight. I think that he can catch Turman. He fights with his hands super low. Jared Gooden has this awkward striking where his hands are by his hips. And while that might help him here, give Wellington some different looks here, it makes him very hittable. So Wellington should be able to land here on Gooden. As far as getting the fight down and trying to get him down and use his jiu-jitsu, it's going to be tough because when you have your hands so low, that actually gives you a better chance of defending takedowns. You're already getting close to down blocking there, and it makes it harder for guys to shoot in on you, shoot on your hips. So Wellington Turman definitely has the grappling advantage in this fight. If he puts Jared Gooden on his back, he's probably going to keep him there. And who knows, he might be able to pass his guard and find a submission or a finish in that position. But it's his wrestling that isn't that good. His wrestling isn't the best to get it in that area. But he is working with Glover Teixeira and Alex Pereira over there in Connecticut at their gym. So I am expecting to see his striking, slowly and steadily improve in the UFC the more time he spends with those guys. So we already know he has good jiu-jitsu, good top control. And that's why I think he's going to win this fight. So give me Wellington Turman to win this fight via decision. Up next, we have Rodolfo Bellato against Ihor Potieria in the light heavyweight division. Rodolfo comes in as a massive favorite. He has an 11-2 record, and he currently sits minus 450. Fighting Ihor Potieria, who comes in with a 20-4 record, and he currently sits plus 340. Right away, guys, say absolutely madness that this line is minus 450. This guy's making his UFC debut. On the screen right there, they don't even have a picture for our boy. But he's good. I'll be honest, he's good. He's killing a lot of his opponents. His strength of schedule is a little worrisome. He seems to be finding cans. We've seen him get clipped before on Dana White Contender Series. So it's not like he's impervious of getting caught, and that's the thing. Ihor Potieria is more of a striker. He's not going to look at the grapple in this fight. He's going to try to keep it upright and catch Rodolfo Bellato with a strike here. He has a really good left hand, a really good left hook on Ihor here. You know, he got finished against Olberg, but everyone kind of saw that coming. I feel like a lot of people don't like Ihor Potieria because he finished Shogun Hua and then did some sort of TikTok dance. Like, he did this crazy dance on him, and everyone thought that was really disrespectful. And he's been getting a ton of hate ever since then. So I actually think that a lot of this line is getting based on people just not liking him and thinking that he's finishable, hittable. I mean, he is finishable and hittable. But Rodolfo Bellato should be able to submit Ihor if he's able to get him down and pass his guard here in this fight. I like the over 1.5. I don't think someone's going to get sparked in the beginning of this fight. But, dude, give me Ihor Potieria to pull the upset here, man. Give me him to win via knockout. I'm going with the second round knockout, left hook right here, to come in off Contender Series and be minus 450 against a guy that already has a UFC experience, man. He's made that walk. He's cut the weight. He's done media day. It's not his first time in the UFC. I mean, again, he's not the greatest fighter, and I don't want to, fade someone with Ihor Potieria. But, man, I'm picking him to win this fight. Give me Ihor Potieria to win via knockout in that second round. That line is just crazy, man. People parlaying Bellato, man, good luck. We have up next a featherweight fight in the men's division between Steve Garcia and Melquizael Costa. I'm going to call him Costa. We have Steve Garcia coming in with a 14-5 record. He is plus 210 on the money line. He is fighting Costa, who comes in with a 20-6 record, currently sitting at minus 260. Now, again, this line has gone wide in my opinion. I do like Costa to win this fight, but minus 260, that just seems a little bit too wide to me, and I'll tell you why. So Steve Garcia has been clipped and dropped in most of his UFC fights. He's very hittable. That's one thing about him that I don't like. But Melk Costa is a very dynamic kicker. He's not really a powerful striker. He doesn't really not go headhunting with his hands. He's more of a kicker. He likes to kick to the body. He likes to go to the legs. But he's really fast. He goes out of switch stances a lot. He can go out of both stance and land flush a lot. He looked really good against Austin Ligo in his last fight where we did have money on him and he cast for us easily. But again, I think that he's fighting a fighter in his most recent fight against Austin Ligo. Looked good doing it. And now he's favored pretty widely against a better fighter, a step up in competition in Steve Garcia. Steve Garcia, to me, can utilize that grappling and get Melsick down and take top control times from there. I think that he will be able to defend the takedowns from Costa if Costa decides to shoot. He will be the bigger fighter in this fight with a 4-inch reach advantage and a 2-inch height advantage over Costa in this fight. And with the amount of kicks that Costa throws, I wouldn't be shocked to see Steve Garcia put Costa down on his butt. But man, I think that Costa will win this fight. I think that his kicks are really dangerous. I think that he's going to chop down Steve Garcia's legs and really limit the movement from him and eventually catch him, man. Like I said, Steve Garcia has been dropped. I don't know the statistics, but I think it's like 3 out of his last 5 fights. He's getting dropped quite a few times. And that chin's there to be hit. So give me Melquizael Costa to actually win via decision. Up next, we have a banger. This is my first fight that I have money on. We have a men's lightweight fight between Drakkar Klose and Joe Solecki. Drakkar Klose comes in with a 13-2-1 record, and he currently sits minus 125 on the betting line. He's fighting Joe Solecki, who comes in with a 13-3 record, currently plus 105. It's a pretty easy fight to break down here. We have a striker versus grappler in this fight, with the striker being Drakkar Klose and the grappler being Joe Solecki. And Joe Solecki has very good jiu-jitsu, guys. Very good back takes. Very good slick off his back. Well, not as much off his back, but when he gets on top and gets you in the side control, half guard, he's good, man. This guy has dangerous jiu-jitsu, and that's where he wants the fight to take place. On the feet, he is not good. His striking is very bad. He's very hittable. His output is bad. His footwork is bad, and his head movement's really bad. And that's what I think is going to cost him in this fight. Drakkar Klose, the one thing I don't like about him is that his activity is really, really bad. And that's something that's really worrisome when you're betting on a guy. I did take 1.25 units on Drakkar Klose to win this fight. I actually think that he can win via third round stoppage at plus 1100 in this fight. It's going to come down to, can Joe Solecki close distance and shoot and grab a hold of Klose? If Klose can deny takedowns, the longer this fight goes, the more it should be going in his favor. The output should be in the favor of Klose. The power is definitely in the favor of Klose. overall striking variety and output, like I said, volume comes from close. It's just that Joe Solecki is very good with his back takes, with his body triangle once he gets you. If he gets close down and takes his back, that's probably going to be the end of the round, as it is right there. So one thing I will say is Drakkar Klose is getting up there in age. He is 35 years old. Joe Solecki is only 30 years old, still in his prime. So he's getting up there in age. Drakkar Klose, he's 35, and this is only his 4th fight in the last 4 years, and he's coming in off ACL surgery. So that's one of the reasons why I think the line's so low. But still, even with all those things going for him, the surgery, the age, the inactivity, I still think that he's a better athlete than Joe Solecki. I think he's going to be able to deny those takedowns, down block, reverse him along the warning track, and keep him at range and really pick him apart. So give me Drakkar Klose to either win via decision or win the 3rd round stoppage. Up next, we have Zachary Reese taking on Cody Brundage. Zachary Reese comes in undefeated 6-0. He is a -235 favorite. He's fighting Cody Brundage, who comes in with a 9-5 record, currently +190 on the betting line. Now, again, this applies to this fight as well. I know we talked about it in the Potieria fight, but here we have a guy undefeated coming in off Dana White's Contender Series. Looked good. And we'll get to that in a second. And now he comes in as a almost 3-1 favorite, almost 2.5 to 1 favorite over Cody Brundage, a UFC fighter with UFC experience. Who, I'll be honest, I'm surprised he's back in the UFC. I thought he'd get cut by now. But we gotta talk about Zachary Reese, guys. Zachary is undefeated. He's 6'4", 29 years old with a 77-inch reach, so he's very big. When you watch this guy fight, he's tall and long. He likes to throw a lot of kicks to the body and keep you at range, keep you at distance, and then snipe you when you come in. All 6 of his wins, all 6 of his finishes, right? This guy is finishing everybody. The thing is, in his Dana White Contender Series, man, he got clipped twice. He got clipped twice by a guy that was supposed to be a wrestler. That Russian dude, I forget his name, something crazy, made Reese look kind of bad. And I will say this: Reese looked good on the regional scene. Yes, he's fighting straight bums and straight like Pizza Hut drivers on the regional scene, so he's supposed to look good. But his speed still looked okay. Like his striking looked good, his speed looked good. But once he got into the Dana White Contender Series, man, he looked slow. He looked flat-footed. He looked really, really slow. And I was kind of shocked at that. I was like, oh, okay, what's going on here? Maybe he was on some stuff. But man, I was just not impressed from Zachary Reese. I know he got the armbar in that first round of his most recent fight on the Dana White Contender Series, but like he got clipped. He got threw a kick, got dropped twice, like where he got caught off balance. It's not like he got cracked and like wobbled or anything, but he just got put off balance and put down, and it doesn't look good for the judges. And that's in the first round of a fight against a wrestler. So Cody Brundage, more of a grappler type fighter who has heavy hands and low fight IQ. Man, this guy's pulling guard against Rodolfo Vieira, ADCC champion more than once. That's all you need to know about the guy. But he did hurt Rodolfo in that fight, and that's the thing about this fight. I think the striking from Cody Brundage is going to get to Zachary Reese. Give me Cody Brundage to win. The underdog, +190 in the very first round. I think that he's going to swarm, bum rush Zach Reese in that very first round and go for broke. If he doesn't win in that first round, I completely expect Cody Brundage to kind of shell up and just accept whatever happens to him in the rest of the fight. But Zachary Reese has never been pushed out of the first round as a pro. He's only been out of the first round one time, and that was as an amateur. Give me Cody Brundage to win this fight. If it gets past the first round, I have my doubts on Zachary Reese and how he looks like past that first 5 minutes. So give me Cody Brundage. I know he has low fight IQ. I know he's been hittable. I know a lot of people don't like him, especially after what he did in his most recent fight where he took the easy way out against Malkoon. I got the DQ win. But give me Cody Brundage, man. Another fight where I feel like a lot of people just don't like the guy and they want to see him lose. And I know he has shown like multiple times not to be very high level fighter in the UFC, but give me Cody Brundage to win via first round knockout and catch Zachary Reese. Oh, okay, this would be probably the shortest breakdown on the entire card. We have the last prelim on the card. We have Miesha Tate coming in, taking on Julia Avila. Miesha Tate comes in with a 20-9 record. She is +120 on the money line. Julia Avila is -140, coming in with a 9-2 record. So I was kind of expecting Julia Avila to be way younger. She's only 35. This is a fight between a 35-year-old and a 37-year-old. I could not care less about this fight. I will be watching Iowa and Michigan during this fight. Complete smoke break fight. You gotta do something, do it during this fight. I'm sure, nothing but respect to these girls. I'm sure they could both, kill me, knock me out, however they want to. But I just no reason to care about this fight. I'll be honest. I'm sorry. I don't want to be disrespectful, but give me Avila to knock out Miesha Tate. Miesha Tate doesn't like to get hit. She wears damage bad, and this is her second run. Julia Avila coming off of having a kid. Who knows? Maybe give her some mom strength there, but statistically, that's not a good look. Avila coming off having a child, having a super, super long layoff. I'm not betting juice minus money on Avila at all, but I think she wins the fight. Couldn't care less. No disrespect. Sorry. Hand up. Go ahead and pass on that fight. Give me Julia Avila to win via knockout. I'm going round one. Up next, we have a middleweight fight between Punahele Soriano and Dustin Stoltzfus. This is a banger of a fight. Super excited for this one. We have Punahele Soriano coming in at minus 300 on the money line. He has a 9-3 record. Dustin Stoltzfus on the other side coming in with a 14-5 record. He is currently plus 245. Now, I missed this line. I totally missed the bow. I liked Punahele Soriano at minus 250, but at minus 300, no way. This dude will win this fight. Give me Punahele to win Soriano to win this fight via knockout. It's just that he has shown multiple times in the UFC that his cardio, his output, his technique definitely falls off a cliff after the first 7.5 minutes of the fight. During that second round, he begins to tire out for sure. And it's worrisome. It's definitely something that he has to improve. He does have good wrestling. He comes from a collegiate wrestling background, but he's a heavy hitter, man. This guy's a power puncher for sure. Throws decent output. Could be better for sure. He's fighting Dustin Stoltzfus, who, man, hell, be honest, no disrespect, but I just do not rate highly as a fighter. We had Abus Magomedov in his most recent fight, a couple fights ago, I should say, when he got slept in the first round via a front kick. I don't think it's going to happen that quickly here for Punahele Soriano, but unless Dustin Stoltzfus can take down Punahele Soriano and control him and avoid keeping this on the feet, I think he's going to get slept in this fight. I think that the longer this goes, the longer it spends at range, at distance here, the longer it's going to favor Punahele Soriano. I actually think that Punahele Soriano round 2 plus 650 is live in this fight. You know, I do worry that Punahele is going to finish it in that first round, so that prop is kind of risky at plus 650. But if Dustin gets past that first round, and if he gets past the second round, then I definitely like Dustin. But if Punahele doesn't gas out and doesn't, death gas in that second round, I think he's going to finish Dustin Stoltzfus via knockout in that second round. I think he's a better striker. I think that Dustin Stoltzfus has bad striking defense. And I think that Punahele Soriano was getting a get-right fight here by the UFC. So give me Punahele Soriano to win via knockout in the second round. Up next, we have one of my old favorite fighters of all time. We have a lightweight fight between Clay Guida and Joaquim Silva. Clay Guida comes in with a 38-20 record, coming in at plus 255. And we have Joaquim Silva coming in, who comes in with a 12-5 record, coming in with a minus 320 money line. That's crazy. One thing I will say about this money line is that I saw it at minus 250 not too long ago, a few days ago, and it's absolutely skyrocketed to minus 320. Now, this one I agree with. This one I agree with it being wide, so you already know Clay Guida is going to win a decision. But for real, Joaquim Silva, we'll start with him. So, Clay Guida has more losses than this dude has total pro fights. This dude is a heavy hitter. Kind of funny, his nickname is Neto BJJ, and doesn't have a submission. But I just think he's going to catch Clay Guida in this fight. Clay Guida will have a significant output here. He loves to throw output. He's going to be having that bouncing stance, hopping around, throwing out a lot of jabs, a lot of low kicks. Joaquim Silva, I think, will make his strikes matter more. He won't land as much as Clay Guida, in my opinion, but I don't think it will matter. I think that when he does land flush, it's going to hurt Clay Guida bad. And I know he's super durable. He has something close to 60 professional fights, and he's not getting finished very often, man. I know statistically he's shown to be pretty durable, but he's actually been getting subbed quite a bit in his losses. And I don't think a club and sub is out of the question. I wouldn't be shocked to see Joaquim Silva club Clay Guida, hurt him bad, rock him bad, and dive in for a sub and snatch that neck up, or just go in there and ground hunt finish him. So Clay Guida, man, he's getting up there in age. He's 41 years old. Silva, 34 years old, not a spring chicken either. He's, that's pretty old. 6-year age gap, though. I got to go with Silva. I think he wins inside the distance. Give me Joaquim Silva round 2. I figured by round 3 he should be a little bit more tired. And I think that Clay Guida is durable enough to last one round. So give me round 2, Joaquim Silva. Go submission. Even though he doesn't have one. Up next, oh man, this fight is so good. We have a men's welterweight fight between Sean Brady and Kelvin Gastelum. Sean Brady comes in with a 15-1 record. He is currently minus 120 on the money line. He is fighting Kelvin Gastelum, who comes in with an 18-8 record. He currently sits plus 100 on the money line. Now, I love this fight. So super interesting. Kelvin Gastelum going back down to minus 170, or not minus, to 170, the welterweight division. He's been fighting in the weight class above, being super undersized for most of his UFC run, man. A lot of his most historical moments in the UFC are at the 185 division. But he's always been super undersized, super small, super short reach, and just super little in the division. Now he's going back down to welterweight, where he should be fighting guys more his size. And this is a pretty good fight to come back to, in my opinion. I like Sean Brady a lot, man. The guy beat Craig Jones in a jiu-jitsu match. Not an easy thing to do. I know Craig couldn't heel hook, but even then, man, Sean did good in that fight. He has very good wrestling and very good jiu-jitsu. This dude is legit. He's a legit beast on the mat. If he was Russian and had an OV and wore a funny hat, I think the line would be a little different. So He's a good striker, man, too. I know he got finished by Bilal Muhammad in his most recent fight, but that's the thing. He took a massive layoff from his most previous fight. He's coming off not fighting in a long-ass time because he had an elbow infection after getting slept by Bilal Muhammad that kept him sidelined. Looked like a pretty serious infection, man. His elbow was swollen up like crazy. Had to pull out of a couple fights. I think it was just one fight, the JDM fight. But yeah, man, it wasn't a good look for him to have that significant virus. Fighting Kelvin Gastelum, who, like I said, is going down a weight class, was never good. But he's only 32 years old, man. I don't think he's at the end of his run. And I actually think that this is a good stylistic matchup for Kelvin Gastelum. Sean Brady is going to need to grapple in this fight. If he keeps it standing for 15 minutes, he's going to get knocked out by Kelvin Gastelum. And I think that's what's going to happen. Kelvin Gastelum's super short. He already has a low center of gravity. It's going to be hard to take down. So give me Kelvin Gastelum to keep this guy off him, to stay on his feet, and to sprawl and brawl and win via second round knockout. I know Sean Brady is going to be trying to press this guy along the cage, along the clinch. I was just talking about this with my boy Lou Betya. And we have a pretty good hot take that Kelvin Gastelum is going to be well prepared for that cage wrestling from Sean Brady, considering that Kelvin Gastelum is now training with Santino DeFranco over there in Arizona with guys like him and Henry Cejudo. So I know he's going to be looking good. His physique looks crazy going into this. A lot of people are going to be making a lot of his weight cut. So maybe if you like Kelvin Gastelum as well, and if you're feeling a little fishy, wait till he makes weight. And even if he misses weight, I don't care, man. It's going to be big. Like, give me Kelvin Gastelum, man. Give me Kelvin Gastelum second round knockout. And up next, we have a banger of a fight. The rest of the card is all bangers. We have Rob Font taking on Deiveson Figueiredo in the bantamweight division. Yeah, Deiveson Figueiredo, you heard that right. Ex-UFC champion coming up finally to bantamweight. And I think it's not going to go good for him. We have Rob Font coming in with a 20-7 record, currently sitting minus 150. We have Deiveson Figueiredo 21-3-1 coming in at plus 125. Yeah, big storyline with this fight is Deiveson, the God of War Figueiredo coming up. So what happened with him is that at flyweight, he missed weight in a title fight, which is actually crazy to think about. This dude's just a huge weight bully at flyweight, right? So now he's going up, and he's gonna be way smaller than Rob Font. Rob Font's not the smallest bantamweight at all. He's 5'8" with a 71.5-inch reach, man. And it's not like Deiveson Figueiredo is young at all. He's 35 years old. When someone is this late in their career, this old, and they're moving up and down weight classes like that, that's never a good sign in my opinion. Yes, his skill set is really good. Yes, he can crack. He has a lot of power, and we have seen that Rob Font does not wear damage well, and he is vulnerable to be winning rounds and then get clipped toward the end of the round and then lose that round that way. We saw it with Chito Vera, but that's the thing. If that Rob Font Chito Vera fight was 3 rounds, he would have won that fight. It was a 5-round fight, and he ended up getting hurt in that 4th and 5th round and lost the decision. So if it was just a 3-round fight, he would have won 2 rounds to 1. Rob Font has a very good jab, man. A lot of people doubted him against Adrian Yanez, but we didn't, man. We had him in that fight, and he came through for us. He has a very good jab, very good output, very slick boxing. We all saw him get dominated by Corey Sandhagen in his last fight, but I don't think that's going to happen in this fight. Deiveson Figueiredo, his physical physique should be better in this fight, but he's still technically kind of small for the division. Like, I know he carries a lot of power, but man, Rob Font is super durable. I know he marks up bad. He does swell up really quickly, so that is worrisome for sure. But I think that Rob Font's going to be able to jab Deiveson Figueiredo face off and win a decision. Give me Rob Font to keep this fight upright, stay off his back, and outpoint Deiveson Figueiredo, who's going to be looking for the one Hail Mary shot, the big swing and bang type fight, the brawl, where I don't think Rob Font will give him that type of fight. I think he stays clean, stays calm, poised, and wins the decision. So give me Rob Font to win via decision. Up next, we have Jamey-Lyn Turner coming in on short notice, taking on Bobby Green. That's a big thing with this fight. A lightweight division, not a catchweight fight. Definitely something we need to know about. Jamey-Lyn Turner coming in 13-7 he's coming in with a minus 210 money line. He is a 2-1 favorite. Bobby Green comes in 31-14-1, currently sitting at plus 175. Yeah, Jamey-Lyn Turner is the fighter in this scenario, taking the fight, I think, 9 days notice. And that's kind of weird because Jamey-Lyn Turner, in his most recent fight against Dan Hooker, missed weight, and he had a full camp for that fight. He fought Dan Hooker on a pay-per-view, came in and missed weight. So huge red flag, right? Goes in and loses that fight. Even though he broke Dan Hooker's arm in that fight, he still lost the fight. He actually almost got submitted in that fight, got saved by the bell. And now he's taking the fight on short notice and has to make weight at 155 on 9 days notice. So that's kind of weird to me. How can a guy that missed weight in his last fight come in and is supposed to make weight on short notice where he just missed weight in his last fight? And he is huge. He is 6'3" for 155 pounds. Like, that's crazy. I am 6'2". I weigh almost 200 pounds. 6'3", absolutely wow. This guy's thin as a rail. As far as the fight goes and actually how it plays out, all Bobby Green has to do is survive that first title away from Jamey-Lyn Turner. If he can just survive, make it to round 2, when round 3 comes around, I think that Bobby Green is going to be the one putting it on Jamey-Lyn Turner. Bobby Green wins round 3 at a very high clip in the UFC. but I don't think it's going to get there. I think Jalen Turner comes in off the couch and finishes Bobby Green in that very first round. And I actually think it's going to be because he goes for broke. I think that he's going to lay it all out there, and if he doesn't get there, he's going to fade. Jalen Turner, 6'3", crazy reach, 77-inch reach, 6 reach inch advantage over Bobby Green. And he has crazy front kicks, crazy head kicks that get up there really fast, good elbows, good front chokes if you shoot in lazily. We also have it in Brad Riddell. And that's one thing Bobby Green has been doing more recently in his UFC run. The older he gets, the more wrestling he seems to be using in his fights. And I don't think he's going to be able to get Turner down in this fight. I think Turner's going to catch him on the way in. I think he finishes him in that first round. Give me Jalen Turner to come in on 9 days' notice and finish Bobby Green. And up next, we have the main event, which is a banger of a fight, guys. We have Beneil Dariush taking on Arman Tsarukyan. Super important fight for the lightweight division between two super highly skilled fighters. Beneil Dariush comes in 22-5-1. He is currently a plus 200 underdog. It's not there on the screen, but I'm pretty sure he's around plus 200. Arman Tsarukyan comes in 20-3, who comes in around minus 300. So this line's been ballooning. I saw Arman Tsarukyan around minus 250 earlier in the week, and now he's all the way at minus 300. And at that price, guys, I can't do it. I can't get behind Arman Tsarukyan at minus 300 against Beneil Dariush. I just can't do it. Give me Dariush, man. I am picking Dariush to win this fight. And it's because I struggle to see Arman Tsarukyan getting ahead on points on Beneil. I'm not saying Beneil is out here looking like Adesanya or like Sean O'Malley or anything on the feet. It's just that Arman Tsarukyan, the way he fights when in that range on the feet, is that he likes to kick a lot. He likes to throw a lot of kicks to the body, a lot of kicks to the head, a lot of kicks to the shins, obviously. And he's good at it. He has very good switch kicks and go out of both stance. Decent hands for sure, but the strike he likes to use more is definitely the kicks. And I think that's going to be hard for the judges to really give it to you, getting ahead on points over a guy like Beneil Dariush. Dariush should have the defensive grappling here to withstand the onslaught, the grappling from Arman. Arman is an elite grappler. He's definitely top 3 wrestlers in the UFC, 155 division. He's up there with Islam, man. He had good scrambles with people like Islam, people like Gamrot. This guy is a proven, legit, beastly grappler. But so is Beneil Dariush, man. Beneil Dariush was at ADCC, years ago. This guy was grappling guys like Gracie, like years ago. Very good black belt. We all saw the Gamrot fight as well. This is actually a common data point. They have both fought Gratuitous Gamrot. One guy won in Beneil Dariush. Another guy lost in Arman Tsarukyan. But now Beneil Dariush, the guy that beat Gamrot, who beat Arman, is the underdog in this fight. I know it's styles make fights, but I just find it weird that they both fought the same guy. One of them won, another one lost, and the one that lost is the huge underdog in this fight, or huge favorite, I should say. It's just that he's younger. Yes, there's a huge youth gap in this fight. I have to mention that Arman Tsarukyan is 27 years old. Beneil Dariush is 34 years old. 7 years going towards Arman here, which is significant for sure. But man, Beneil Dariush, I like his defensive wrestling, man. I like his output. I think, him not going 5 rounds before is a little worrisome for sure. But to win a decision, Beneil Dariush at plus 700 is crazy to me. I think that he definitely can win a decision. I struggle to see Arman getting ahead and separating himself in rounds if he can't utilize his grappling. He has very good wrestling, good top control, and with good, very elite ground and pound. I don't think that Beneil Dariush is going to end up on bottom for long minutes, man. Give me Beneil Dariush to win this fight, to win via decision, to cash as a big underdog. I actually didn't expect to be having this many underdogs on this video, but I really appreciate all you guys watching, all your support. If you disagree with one of my picks, one of my bets, let me know in the comments. And so far, we only have one bet, and that's on Drakkar Klose to win his money line minus 125. We put 1.25 units on that to win one. I expected myself to have a little bit more. I'm really looking at that Rob Font money line here. Got look a little bit more into it. I hope it don't get too wide. But yeah, man, super interesting card, super fun card for sure. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.